Yeah, I would say, you know, the doctors need to start by just listening to their patients. So many of their patients, maybe they're not aware, but many of their patients are actively using this marijuana plant to manage a variety of medical ailments. And they seem to be doing that successfully, even in spite of the lack of support from the medical community and from the lack of support from the government here. They continue to seek out the plant and use it because they know it helps them. And in many cases, it helps them more than any of the prescription medicines that I can write for them each time. So I think it's really crucial. I know that the physician community is so conservative and they only want to use meds that have been through the proper FDA drug development process, but they have to be aware that there are already hundreds of published studies, very legit controlled trials looking at the therapeutic and confirming the therapeutic benefits of marijuana. And so I think that all they have to do is do a simple search on their own, on PubMed or even on Google, and they'll see so many of these wonderfully compelling published trials. I mean, not all of them. I realize in the medical community we're a bit elitist about, you know, we have to have randomized controlled trials. We want the most rigorous studies to eliminate any human bias, but you can't ignore the mountain of anecdotal evidence, whether it's a case report, case series, you know, observational studies that are confirming that this plant has a tremendous therapeutic potential, that patients are mining on their own. The patients are discovering this, teaching each other how to use it. And so why the physician community is so far behind the patients, why the government is so far behind when it comes to, you know, the government, if they really cared about their citizens, they would be insisting to put this plant through the rigors of a randomized controlled trial. They would, you know, the government should be demanding that this plant, if the government truly cared about its citizens, they would be listening to the patients and they would be launching study after study right now to understand more about how this plant works and how patients are responding so that we can figure out how to harness even more potential of the plant. But instead they block it, they throw people in cages, they make it such a brutal environment where patients have to constantly live in fear every day, live in fear of being arrested and prosecuted for utilizing a God-given plant. So I think that's my main message to the government and to the medical community is please open your mind and recognize that, you know, patients need safe, legal access, preferably to lab-tested marijuana. And the only way to lab-test marijuana in a rigorous way is to take it out of the black market and let the plant, you know, be free and let the plant, to legalize the plant, at least for medical purposes, so people can have access to lab testing and can understand what strains might be best, and then we can start to create more innovations, you know, where we're seeing all these new methods of delivering the plant that are really important. And for sick people, they need a variety of options. They need different strains, they need different delivery methods, and if the government, you know, really, all the claims that they make during the campaign time about how much they care about their voters, it's time for them to prove that by doing the right thing here.